Hey there, storytellers, and welcome to the Create a Story You Love YouTube channel. I'm Lorna Faith, and I'm so happy you've joined me here today. For this month of October, we will start a new video series to help you prepare for NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo, just a quick description, is short for National Novel Writing Month, and it happens every year in November. It's where writers are encouraged to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And it's really meant to inspire and motivate writers to finish their novels, or at least get a lot done on their novels. So I thought this would be a good month to focus on getting prepped for the start of November and NaNoWriMo. If it doesn't work for you to participate in NaNoWriMo, no worries. I hope these videos will still be helpful for you to understand the process of figuring out your novel. So today we'll start at the very beginning and talk about how to uncover and brainstorm a new story idea. Most writers who are in the beginning stages of writing aren't sure where to find story ideas and how to brainstorm those ideas. In fact, I used to be one of those writers. I would have a small-ish idea, and then I wasn't sure where to go from there. And for some books I've written, I didn't even have a real story idea, only a glimpse of a setting of where I wanted to write the story. That's really what happened in my first historical romance series. I basically just knew I wanted it to be set in Russia during the time of World War I, but at the very beginning I had no ideas on character or any of the other details. In fact, it all seemed very confusing to me as I didn't know what to do with my story idea. So if you are feeling like you need some help uncovering the idea for your story and in brainstorming it, that's what I want to help you with today. How do you go from basically having nothing and into having an idea and then, brainstorming that into a bigger vision of a story idea? Today we'll start at that very beginning. How do you find your amazing story idea, an idea that sparks your interest and that you're passionate about? Step number 1, figure out your genre. There are a few different ways that will help you figure out what genre you are genuinely interested in to write your story. For example, have you always been interested in history? Do you love to watch historical movies? If so, your interests might lead you to write historical fiction. So ask yourself, what movies do you love to watch, or what novels do you love to read? For example, if you love watching The Hunger Games or Divergent, perhaps dystopian science fiction is a genre you could consider because those are the elements in Hunger Games and Divergent. Or if you love reading novels like C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that might be a sign that you're interested in writing a novel in the fantasy genre. If you're like me and you love all sorts of genres in movies or novels, it might take a little more fleshing out to uncover a more detailed description of the genre in which you would like to write your novel. But to help narrow it down, ask yourself what novels you most enjoy reading. When you have a couple hours of free time and not busy working, do you pick up a romance novel to read, or do you gravitate toward mystery? Just some examples. Sometimes as writers, it's helpful to ask ourselves specific questions. This will really help to narrow down the genre you'd like to write your story. For example, if you know you really like to write fantasy, then you can already weed out a psychological thriller or contemporary romance and vice versa. Also, ask yourself what setting really interests you. If you are excited about writing science fiction, for example, then you know that your setting will be somewhere in outer space in a fictional location, which is quite fun and exciting. You can also find inspiration by searching on Pinterest or finding documentaries or other videos on YouTube. Sometimes these visual prompts can be helpful to inspire your creativity, and they also could give you wonderful story ideas. Or another way to be inspired with new ideas is thinking through the story tropes that you really love. For example, maybe you've always liked science fiction movies with the middle-aged maverick captain and the raggedy crew who take back freedom from the overlords. which is a little like the movie Guardians of the Galaxy starring Chris Pratt. That science fiction movie definitely has those elements. So if you wanted to write a science fiction novel with a maverick captain and a raggedy crew, the genre in a book form would be called space opera science fiction. So when you have the genre narrowed down, it's time to go to the next step. So that's an example of searching for the setting that inspires you. When you have the genre nailed down, it's time to go to the next step. Step 2, dig deeper to uncover your story's theme. In K.M. Weiland's book, Writing Your Story's Theme, she defines theme as a unifying idea or subject explored via reoccurring patterns and expanded through comparisons and contrasts. Story is ultimately an expression of theme. Plot and characters are just the window dressing to the deeper meaning of theme. So theme is important. Theme can help you figure out where the story is going. If the ideas in your story fill the reader's mind and emotions with a universal truth, it will be because of theme more so than the plot or the characters. Theme will be but what resonates with your readers. I like how Herman Melville, the author of Moby Dick, described theme. To produce a mighty book, you must choose a mighty theme. No great and enduring volume can ever be written on the flea, though man there be that have tried it. So if you are interested in writing a story, I believe it's important to connect with readers on a deeper level, to connect with their heart. This is really accomplished by your story's theme. The truth is, sometimes the theme of your novel isn't that easy to spot right away. At least that's been my experience. Sometimes you don't figure out your theme until you're halfway through writing the story. That's what happened to me as I wrote my latest cowboy sweet romance under a pen name. It wasn't until I was writing the midpoint of the novel when I realized that my heroine's abuse that she experienced with her stepfather as a child, and the fact that the heroine was willing to listen to her grandmother's advice to forgive her stepfather, that was when I finally realized that the theme was forgiveness and redemption. It kind of took me a while to figure that out. But this, so this was quite difficult to write because in some ways it reminded me of my own childhood and, needing to forgive some tough situations I faced in my own backstory. But being a storyteller, I've learned, will mean that you must be willing to write from your heart. And sometimes that means writing from deeper places of pain, trauma, forgiveness, redemption, those things that you've gone through personally. But it's okay. This genuine and honest writing is what stirs and connects with the human heart. So ask yourself, what is that truth that your hero is going to learn over the course of your novel? What is their inner transformation that your hero will need to go through? That inner transformation, the character arc, is where you will discover the theme of your story. Step 3, get to know your hero. Getting to know your hero means understanding what your hero wants. It means doing a deep dive into all of your hero's flaws, fears, and wounds. And this also means understanding their false beliefs, the untruths that your main characters tell themselves, which usually stems from the bad things that they've experienced so far in their life. Story is really about what happens in the story that transforms the characters. Characters are the main event, so to speak, in your story. Readers will resonate deeply with your characters, almost like they will become a close friend to your readers if you take the time to dig deeply into your character's backstory, including their wounds and their fears and their limiting beliefs. The character transformation is really what your reader is subconsciously looking for as they read your book. They want to know, how is this main character, with all their flaws and fears and limiting beliefs, going to go through this big change from the ordinary world into the new world, and then face off with their fears and come to the other side, at the end of the story, really letting go of those limiting beliefs and embracing the truth of who they are. How are they going to go through this transformation? This is really what your reader is searching for, even if they might not be able to put it into words. So it's up to us as storytellers to really dig deep into who our main characters are. and to bring those characters into an amazing transformation that really resonates with our readers. For some further thoughts on storytelling, write down how you want your readers to feel when they read your story. Some examples could be suspenseful, mysterious, heartbreaking, tear-jerking, heartwarming, thrilling, etc. What is the mood and emotion you want readers to feel and resonate with in your story? Which means you will need to have those emotions too, even as you write the story. Dwight V. Swain, in his book Techniques of the Selling Writer, says, when asked what you as a fiction writer communicate to your readers, the answer is feelings. Feelings. We want to communicate feelings. Readers want to feel something when they read your story. So whether it's happiness, pain, heartbreak, fear, mysterious feeling, or even a thrill, readers want to feel deep emotions. So those are 3 steps to help you uncover and brainstorm your new story idea. And just a quick note, if you can only figure out 2 out of these 3 steps, you're still good to go. What I've noticed, if you're anything like me when I write, sometimes the theme won't come to me until I'm about halfway through writing the book. So for me, I might not be able to figure out step 2 until I get to the midpoint of the story. But it's all good. If you can figure out the other 2 steps, you are good to go and ready to flesh out more of your story. If you can only take away one thing to remember from this video today, ask and answer this question. What is the story that you really want to read? Go write that story. In the next video, in this video series, as we prep for NaNoWriMo, is how to figure out the plot of your novel. So we'll talk about that next time. But for today, thanks for joining me, and I'm excited for you as you begin your journey to write amazing stories. If you've enjoyed this video series and found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe below so other new writers can find this video too. Happy writing!